people who put the show on are really great. They really appreciate and understand the things that artists, especially people who do art fairs, have to deal with. They really make you feel, as an artist, cared for, and that it's truly an art fair for artists. The coolness factor, especially of the location where you guys chose to do this art fair, it looked very residential, and then all of these wonderful Asian restaurants are right here. Generally, college towns tend to bring out a lot of interesting and diverse people, because you also have people not just from here, you have parents who visit, and also lots of people who move from other areas as well.
It's a great town. The people are very knowledgeable about artwork. Like when they look at it, they have a good idea of what they're looking at. It's nice to have an educated art community, I think.
It's been a busy weekend, even with the rain and with the heat. Good customers, been good sales, good mix of everything. A lot of people know a lot about pottery, so it's nice when they come in and say, hey, this is reduction firing, is that a wood ash glaze? I'm like, yes, very good.
I think it's a really good mix of different artists, different mediums, and the quality is very high. And we like visiting Bloomington, being in the downtown area, and just meeting all the other artists along the street. It's just a fun little festival.
I guess I am a big MC Escher fan, so a lot of my work is a play with dimensionality and trying to make people see 3 dimensions from 2 dimensions. And I'm a big fan of Norman Rockwell, so I throw a lot of whimsy and humor in there to try and make people smile. This is my newest piece. It's called Joker's Wild, and it's gone over very well. This is my signature piece. It's called Escape. It's based on one of Escher's pieces. He has one called Reptiles, where the alligator crocodile is walking off the page, over a book and back into the page. So I have used a lot of him for my inspiration, but I've stopped looking at his work because I didn't want to start taking too many ideas from him.
I actually paint all the patterns on freehand with wax, and then I glaze, and then I do a firing process where I add a mixture of baking soda, sawdust, and water. The baking soda can react with both the raw clay that was left by the wax and also the glazes that I use. So where the soda is very, very light, it can flash a red-orange color. And as it builds up, it can go white or gray and build up an orange peel texture. And this particular glaze, the blue-black Celadon, is very reactive with the particular glaze because it can go from a very cobalt blue to sort of a very matte blue, and it can even go slightly golden and also rings of black. All of this variation happens only in a soda firing.
I started doing woodworking back in the 70s on my back porch, just with hand tools, and I started making things out of scraps, and the boxes evolved from that, just as a way to use up scrap material and recycle and upcycle.
I do them with micron drawing pens on drawing paper. They're all architectural subject matter for the most part, specifically because I like drawing things that demand a little bit more technical accuracy as opposed to like organic freehand subject matter. Like this is a building in Chicago. I specifically chose this one because of the billboard on top of it. It's on the roof and it's at an angle, so it's different from. It's not the line of the billboard isn't parallel with the edge of the building, so it gives I'm not working with just 2 perspective points. This is a little bit more interesting because I get to work with a third one, just because that billboard is at an angle, and that's kind of really the main reason I chose it.
So I do high fire reduction pottery with wood ash glaze. The main ingredient in the glaze is ashes from your fireplace. So anytime you see a drippy runny glaze like this, that's going to be a good indication that it's a wood ash glaze pottery. And that glaze always reminded me of trees, tree roots. And I just thought, well, let's put a tree on the top instead of making a typical knob handle. By the time it's made, trimmed, bisque fired, glazed and glaze fired, it usually takes 6 to 8 weeks.
I used to paint in oils in college, but when I graduated I didn't have a place to do that anymore. So I switched to watercolor because it was more portable. And I was doing some illustration work at the time and kind of developed a style using stippling in ink and then the watercolor over the top. This piece is called The Messenger, and it was inspired by Japanese art. In the past you saw a lot of pictures of deer pictured with these golden discs behind them, and it was believed that deers were messengers of the gods. And so this was kind of my own take on a traditional Japanese image, but it's a little more Indiana, I guess, with the deer and the disc behind it, and then I made the antler shapes out of leaves.
America, is this correct? I better get right down to the job. It's true I don't want to join the army or turn labs and precision parts factories. I'm nearsighted and psychopathic anyway. America, I'm putting my queer soldier to the wheel.
Me and that man only get along one day at a time. I'm talking about me and my man. We only get along one day at a time. One day we're fussing and fighting. Oh, the next day we're doing fine. Let's see. Monday we're lovey-dovey. Tuesday we don't speak. Wednesday we're eating steak. And Thursday I don't even eat. Talking about me and the man. Only get along one day at a time. One day we're fussing and fighting. Yeah, the next day we're doing fine.